and she's done it. She's kept res in this game.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our deciding map. One of these teams is going to be heading on home. You can hear the wonderful bomb sound in the background as all the production guys are testing stuff for tomorrow. But we are, more importantly, going to be watching Orgless versus Pain. And it will be Pain for one of these two teams as they will be home on the first day.
I know. So back to the airport, back on the flights to their respective countries. And it would be an unfortunate way to obviously end your venture here, as we haven't even got to the stage that we can hear being prepared ahead. I wonder if people can hear that on stream as it is.
Yeah, they definitely can.
That's a bomb about to blow. Signifying the start of our game, Tom.
Yes.
There it is.
That was fairly well timed, actually. We are into our pistol round. It is day one, ladies and gentlemen. Everything will be sorted out once we get to the stage. You'll get a wonderful analyst desk and a lot less of us, which is always a positive. Either way, Bazina has managed to kick things off with the opening frag. The Brazilian team, well, they've got a much longer journey home if they don't manage to win this one through. Obviously, I feel like there's quite a bit expected from this team. They've obviously been together a long time. The only roster that is still standing from the previous challenge in 2018. And they are now going to look to try and burst that A site, but there's plenty of defense here from the CT side.
Well, they slide their way out, and the first contact is found as the shots are coming through. Ooh. Melissa attempting to punish them with a USP. Will be beaten back there by Bazina, and it is all up to Marion. In a 1 versus 4, site control is claimed, bomb is down, Pain Gaming into pretty good after-plant positions, but Pan will be dealing with her. Dispatches her, and they pick up the opening round there on Inferno. Our third and final map of this series.
Yeah, already good start out, and I think for Pain as well, after such a close map on their opponent's pick, I think that although there's obviously the bit of doubt in your mind, okay, we probably could have closed out, then it's always going to be positive thinking like, okay, we almost took it in their map choice. Now we go on to a level playing field, a map that is likely they feel more comfortable on. Obviously, I feel like that's one of the things that's very difficult within like the Intel Challenge, within the sort of female tournaments, is that it's hard to read what other teams' maps are going to be because you don't play them very often, especially when it comes to Orgless versus Pain. It's just not going to have happened. It's the Brazilians. They're not going to have played against Orgless at all. So to know whether or not Inferno is Pain's best map or one of their worst is very difficult. But obviously, since we banned down to this sort of position, it is looking pretty good for them. Not so much for Lolita, already dunked down to within inches of her life. The question is, will they expect this little stack over towards the arch side? Likelihood is no, but the question is, will it really matter? Because they do have themselves the SMG. We're going to try and shred through. That's a surprise. And actually, they get 2 kills for that. That's not bad at all. They're going to try and hunt them down. And Kitty Cat has managed to get 3 kills with just a USP. A much stronger start than what we saw in the previous map. Obviously, she was one of the heavy hitters on Nuke. Now the question is, can the CTs actually win this?
Well, Kitty Cat finally goes down, so there will not be a 4th kill picked up for her. Rather, they leave a duo behind. Hila and Anna in the 2-on-2. So they try and take control towards Quad Pan. Dispatches absolutely everyone. The MP5 slam down will just rip her way through them. And that is the 2nd round picked up. Pain Gaming already starting to build themselves a little bit of a lead here.
Well, CT side now come in with a bite of their own. Again, interesting to see not a single AUG, not one, brought up for Orgless. And it's an extra $50, of course, and a lot of people don't want to spend that extra bucks, but still interesting to not see any of them and whether or not we will have them later in the game. Obviously, a bit more invested into utility for Orgless over the weaponry. We do have a couple of FAMASs brought up for the CT side. For the T's, you have to remember, they lost 3 players last round. Their money is not secure. They've not made bank just yet. So it's still an opportunity for Orgless to actually reset them very early on.
Lolita taking a fairly big chunk of damage early on, losing 60 HP there. Selena brought down to 78. Molotov towards the top of Banana as they slowly ascend their way up. We're just reaching about the minute mark now. They still have an awful lot of utility. We've got 3 smokes, 4 flashbangs there. 1 flash gets chucked over to allow them to take the initial top Banana control to slide their way out. 2 players set up towards Banana. They do have that utility, Tom. But when it comes down to actually smokes, there is nothing left. It is only one flash. So when they go for this, Pain Gaming, they can't be slowed. They won't be stopped. It's just going to be all out hectic.
Quick push in. Marion only going to be able to get one, and a lot of this will now come down to Lolita on the back of the site. She has managed to find one. A second would have been welcomed by her CT comrades looking to try and rotate in, but it still left them in a 3 versus 3. And there's no utility left for the T side whatsoever, so it's just going to come down to those after plant positions, the individual shots, and Ela's the one to kick things off, finding that opening pick back in. Now they do still have an incendiary onto Kitty Cat, but they don't have a kit, so they do need to get their little running shoes on. It's not going to work out so far, and the burning of Kitty Cat cooks herself and leaves it all onto Anna. Nice headshot onto the second player, but Pan will be there to finish the round, and that is going to be the third brought in for Pain.
Curiosity killed the cat, Tom.
Oh, yeah, and so did fire.
Yep.
Did you know that? The cats are not fireproof.
Yep, cats are flammable.
Boy, you know.
Yeah, cats are flammable. Remember that one, because that's quite important in life, really. That's one of those things that not a lot of people know.
Good thing she still has 8 lives left, though.
That is true. That is true.
Oh, back to pistols for CT side. Again, we don't see much invested in these sort of rounds, and it is quite peculiar because, especially in this scenario where they are now on max loss bonus, obviously the change in economy, which was quite a while ago now, but they're going to get 3,400 into the next round. Now, obviously, yeah, there's some arguments there that, okay, you will have the sort of 6K marker, which is pretty much perfect to get everything you desire, but you still normally see a pistol or two. Ela's the only one to really invest anything here. And they're going to try and at least do a little bit of damage. Lolita actually just going to opt to fall back and not try and take this fight just yet. Surely going to get off the mark, but I'll be honest, if there's any player in the server I'm not really worried about in that regard, she is the one, although going down fairly early on here. A lot of damage being caused by these pistols, and Pain, although they are winning these rounds, they're getting a bit too close for comfort, even though they still have a massive advantage here.
They're backing off now, heading over towards the A site. The only player that is actually in position is going to be Anna. P250 in hand, grasping it, ready to kick off and fight back. Kitty Cat gets spotted out and put down as well. Eliminated. Finally, Pan will put Anna to bed, and that is a 4-0 scoreline. Pain Gaming looking very effective right now.
Yeah, 4-0, and well, although they have been winning these rounds, their money is not ludicrous. They will still be able to buy into the next round no matter what happens, but I'm excited to see that trusty AWP onto Anna. Now, obviously, the CT side is where we expect her to have her real impact, to be the sort of dominant player within the server. It can be quite difficult to get opening picks on that T side, but she's been fairly effective throughout the series so far. Obviously, the T's not even opting for an AWP, and in this map, you don't really blame them. It's not really a weapon of choice and can be quite difficult to get those opening picks. Molotov going to be thrown over the top and actually gain quite a lot of control from Orgless. I like that. Just a sort of safe way of throwing out your grenades without any real risk.
Well, there's a Molotov towards top banana. Shalina. Lovely. Gets the early entry. Finds the head there with the Kalashnikov. Will be able to peel it straight back. That's Lolita down. And they're going to push up off the back of this as well. There's no further rotation around towards the B site, so it's just Marion that's stranded on her own on an island. She does have a smoke, but she isn't going to cast it out. Instead, opts to hold the aggressive angle with the M4. Pop flash going over. The smoke there as well. This is when the entry should start to come in. She falls back, smokes it on the exit, but they're confident. They charge their way straight through. She doesn't actually get the frag. Unfortunately, it was a half spray onto 2 different players, Tom. No kills found, but there is time for the rotation. And it's Anna. She's been a showstopper. She's been hitting some very juicy frags with the AWP. Can she do it again? Misses, Tom. It's unlike Anna.
We saw this towards the end of the last game, but she has managed to connect, turn it back into a 2 versus 2. Rotation from Kitty Cat is coming in, but so low on HP is going to make things very difficult in this scenario. But there's Anna once again. Makes up from the mistake of the prior shot and leaves it all onto Cammy. Has more HP than her opponents combined, and she'll line them both up, not checking the close corner. That will be Pain to get their 5th. Again, it's close, but again, it's Pain in the lead.
Pain Gaming projecting themselves further and further. That's rough for Anna as well, because getting that AWP out is now not a possibility going forward. Obviously, we're back onto the MP9s. 4 MP9s going to be donned into this one. This actually could be a bit of a classic mid-burst, Tom. We've seen the utility there. The heavy nade's going to cast down. Not too much damage on. They're running straight into the setup. The Ts are prepared to deal with this. They have to run through the Molotovs as well, fighting through the fire and flames. Unlike Dragon Force, I don't think this one's going to be at the top of the charts.
Yeah, this is tough to get back out of this position. I like it as a half-buy, though. I think it's an interesting strategy, and they still have a lot of map control. Like, I think the Ts are almost just confused. They're like, okay, can you do something, please? Like, we want to get out of this situation. And now they go peeking back through mid. That's the impossible scenario for Marion to win. Molotov into the corner as well is going to make things even more difficult for Lolita. She will fall. And I like this from Pain. Just methodical. Like, they calm to the storm. Like, it's very easy for those sort of rounds to get out of control where your opponent just does something, well, insane. Like, goes for a cheese round, and it's very easy for a team to just, like, completely lose it there. And instead, you just watch Pain keep their calm. They make sure that the checks that they have are smart. Like, Pan could have very easily just peeked out through from underneath, and instead she waits for her teammates. And, well, they've managed to keep this one a lot cleaner than was expected.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those rounds that is a very viable strategy, you know. The CSS mixes push, you go for the HEs down, you charge into it with the MP9s. If you can get in close range, they can be absolutely unreal. If you can land those headshots, you can just destroy people with a weapon. So it normally actually catches your opponent off guard. Unfortunately for them, Pain were pretty much ready for it. They were set up, they played for the anti-eco, and they did very well against it. They're going to get themselves another round on the board as well, bringing their tally up to 6 now. For Pain, it's just actually been a pretty methodical T side.
Well, 6-0. It's actually funny, you see a similar thing coming out from the old iteration of like LDLC, like with Devil. What they used to do before they'd go into a buy round, even though they had like 4,000-ish to buy, they'd buy a load of SMGs and just run down, and it would be one of those rounds where the Ts go, oh, so they've already bought here. Now we can just wreck them, and then they'd have a buy in the next round. That's actually similar to what they have here. Like, they went for a heavy SMG, they went aggressive, and now they have everything they desire going into the next round thanks to that extra little bit of money made.
The downside to it is as well from Orgless, we're not actually seeing much coming out in forms of top banana control. You know, obviously the classic setup you see these days is the double molly. You molly close, you molly deep, you get that initial banana control, you flash out, you go for the face, and you're able to take it that way. Or essentially you'd rotate your AWP over, and we'd see Anna assist there towards B site to try and allow them to gain that control. Rather than doing that, they've been quite lax towards banana, and we've seen a lot of those rounds finish from Pain on banana because they know they can get in. They've been using those smokes very early on as well for the most part, so it's only really been one smoke remaining, even about a minute normally, which it's just not enough. They find the first pick this time as well. Cammy spotting out Lolita. There's the smoke. Marion's actually playing this pretty well. You play around the smoke here like this, it's going to make it more awkward, and they're entering one by one. There was opportunity there, Tom, for the CTs to really get themselves into a better position. Instead, though, it's a 4-on-3, and the site has been taken as Pain Gaming's territory.
Yeah, and it needs a quick pick, or the players are just going to save. Like, it doesn't look like they're going to try and challenge too much here, and understandably so. Like, this is a difficult side to retake without having like an advantage in these scenarios. But yeah, Pain, looking at their 7th round, and we saw them play this map earlier versus Assassins, and although we didn't get to see a whole lot of their T side, it was actually their CT side where they got really easy isolated. And the problem I have there is, okay, I think Assassins looked really good today. Like, they were the sort of the team going into things that I expected to see quite a bit from, but at the same time, we'd never seen them play as a unit. So it's like you're throwing together a lot of like very good components, but you never really know if that means they're going to come out firing. Now, obviously, Pain played them on this map and lost. They got pretty much obliterated, 16-7. So now I'm already looking at Pain with 7 rounds on the board. Clearly, this is a map they can play. And Orgless just have not been able to exploit any of the same weaknesses that we saw from Assassins. Like, they were able to sort of take control of portions of the map. That's actually something that Pain had to try and do versus Assassins, which they didn't do greatly, was taking banana control. But they seem to have that, like, almost, like, classic setup of, okay, we smoke down, we set up the AWP, and then we have the 4 players. We haven't seen anything like that from Orgless. It's just been like, oh, yeah, okay, we'll chill back, you'll come and take it from us. And that's happened every time.
So that's what I was saying, right? Because I was watching that game from the hotel room this morning, and that's the fact. fact that for what Pain Gaming we were getting done there, exactly to what you're saying towards Banana, is because they were actually being countered by the aggressive Banana control. That's not been there once. We've, you know, if memory serves me correctly, this has pretty much been Orgless playing from the site each and every round, running that same default. There's been no real congestion.
Once with MP9s.
Yeah, which literally that was it. The only round they actually pushed down Banana was the MP9 mid-rush, which by and large isn't really a standardized round anyway, right? Yeah. So we need to see some kind of differentiation there. For Ana as well, towards mid especially, we haven't had much of an opportunity for her to actually go for a face or do some damage because she's only had the AWP twice. Yeah. And both times it's been kind of snubbed out early on, which is just Pain Gaming actually really playing with a lot of confidence. If she did go over towards that B site and support it as a firm member early, and they did try and take Banana control, instantly that changes the whole pace of the game. And it looks like we might be seeing that, which would really be good to witness here. Yeah, so she's actually heading over towards the B site. This is lots better already. We've got the Molotovs as well. They can double molly down, and they can build off the back of this.
Yeah, but look at the difference. The T's have countered it. This is a great read. Now, Ana may have got herself the opening pick, but the rest of the T's are just going to go pushing straight in. Both players are flying. They bypass each other, and that's actually given Ela the kill. The question is she going to be able to do anything? Oh, yes, she is. Double down. That was so important that she manages to find those 3 kills. As I was saying, what Pain did there was exactly the right call. Yeah, 100% spot on the right call. The problem is they just didn't manage to get that open, and that initial flashbang wrecked them because it was all about who saw who first, and Ela just got the drop and managed to find the remaining kills. But yeah, that was exactly what they needed to do. The problem is now we see the CT side. Okay, they've got their round. They're on the board. They've gained some confidence, but now they've gone right back into the same sort of play that we had before.
However, it's the mind game, right? Because you've seen Ana go towards that site one time. They played a lot more aggressively. But there's not actually been any presence. I mean, in fact, they've still got the Molotovs, so they haven't really actually made a play that would sell that same idea once again. So worryingly, Tom, if they spot out Ana or hear any ruckus with that AWP, they can immediately realize what's going on. They could go back round towards this B site again. And look how confident they are. Shalina, it doesn't matter about what they did previously. Already, she's gaining that top Banana control. You can't afford to give it away that early on.
Yeah, I think it is basically because last round, they pushed mid, and there was already double Molotovs on Banana.
Yeah.
So it's kind of obvious that they're not there anymore because there's no double Molotovs. There's nothing. They didn't even throw any nades.
It wasn't even the classic Molotov either because one of them was the very deep Molotov down towards T-step. So instantly, it's a tell. You can figure out something's changed. They're not playing aggressive. The one round they did play aggressive, Ana was there. It's one of those sort of rounds. Oh!
I don't know how she gets away with that.
Very lucky.
Ooh, the thing is, though, Ela actually re-peeks into middle, and she's going to be caught out from Pan. This actually isolates Kitty Cat quite a bit, and they're actually going to start baiting this back towards the B site once again. Cammy's there with the AWP, has been getting some pretty good openers over on that side of the map, and the fact is there's just not that much information for the CT side. They are going to start their rotation. Smoke's still going down over towards A with a flashbang. It's very good indeed. Marion with an important double, but somehow Lolita doesn't get anything done. Luckily, we have seen the rotation of Ana, who's managed to find one with the AWP and catches the crossing player. The bomb's just about going to go down in that corner, but the problem is the peek out from Ana is going to be enough. Important, impactful kills coming out from her once again. And finally, that AWP has made a play, and a big one at that.
Ridiculous, though. And the problem is, this is where it starts to get worrying, right? Because you cannot rely on Ana to do this each and every time. You're winning these rounds, but that was a real big hero play. That was incredible stuff towards the end there to get her into that scenario. And the likelihood of that happening each and every time as well is so minimal. I mean, Marion finding that second frag, even with the Famous, that's, you know, hugely lucky for her, because that could have been so much worse. They've now actually switched over. They're going to give Marion the secondary AWP as well, which is better. You have that AWP presence on towards the B site, but I want to see that aggression.
Yeah, I think this is where we need to see them take a little bit of control. They've got themselves a couple of rounds. They've gained a little bit of confidence. Again, it's looking like a more passive play, but at the same time, like, I don't mind it so much with an AWP, but it is still difficult to hold from these passive positions. If utility is used correctly from Pain, they could very easily isolate that AWP. So I'm more now looking towards Pain to sort of punish just the map control they're being given, they're being handed. And once again, we're going to see them push aggressively up towards Banana. They've taken the control. They've made a lot of noise as they go. The fact is, though, one smoke here can completely isolate Marion off. So we're just waiting to see whether or not there will be that coffin smoke.
Because that's the problem. That's one of the angles you'll see. If there's two styles of AWPing towards that B site, if you imagine playing back sort of by Nubox would be the device style of holding it where it's very hard to isolate you off the site. Where she's playing from there is more of the simple style, where it's aggressive, you're in the open, you're exposed, and yeah, you have a lot of impact that you can do, but it's very easy to make you choose between fight and flight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's either through the smoke or hiding behind it. Here we go, Anna. Not able to connect the initial shot, but will be able to fall back. Looks for a little bit more, clearly starting to feel the rhythm of that AWP. And actually looking for players on the cross. The problem is that there's quite a few missed shots in a row, and that's going to give a lot of control over. Marion will at least be able to rotate around and find one back. The problem is she's being pincered from multiple angles, and Pan will be there to put her down. Good work from the T side once again, and this time they do isolate that AWP. Now Anna's sort of left, and that's the sort of problem. Like, last round, we mentioned it, she was fantastic. This round, misses a few shots, round goes completely the other way.
It's rough as well, because if she actually did get those kills, it stops that rotation. Marion wouldn't have had to fall back to help her out towards Speedway, so there would have been some kind of a scuff. You know, there would have been a fight to actually allow them in towards the B site. Rather than that, they had free entry. As soon as they realized, okay, they've now got 2 AWPs in play, they saved that. Let's just push her. We can take her down. She's trapped towards ruins as well. And it just didn't work out really the way they wanted it to, unfortunately. For Orgless, Kitty Cat saving this full kit, everything she actually has on her, is pretty much vital, as the cash isn't in a mind-blowing spot. Luckily, Anna's actually got a fair bit. I mean, she really is going to be bankrolling the team right now for the most part.
Yeah, she'll be able to drop to Lalita. I think everybody else can pretty much buy. Like, she's probably going to want to get her AWP in, so I don't think she'll be making many more charitable donations to the other players on her team.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it gives them a buy, and that's important because they're already 8-2 down. This is a bad enough scoreline as it is. If they were going into this with nothing, then you'd be incredibly worried for Orgless. As we've already mentioned, this is elimination time. This isn't even the elimination series anymore. This is the elimination map. But there we go. That AWP, once again, the early pick coming out from Anna, the impact being given from that AWP.
I wonder if that was actually the counter nade there as well. We've seen Marion lose an awful lot of HP. She might have actually exposed herself slightly towards top banana and been hit by that. She's been tagged up, she's fallen back. They're playing that more classic setup once again towards the site. Bear in mind, obviously, that second AWP has been taken out of commission. They are back on the rifles. The only player with the AWP is Anna. But Cammy has one of her own, and she is lethal with the boomstick, Tom.
Yeah, she's been smoked off, though. The fact is, though, the T's haven't managed to actually take control of that position just yet. She's going to be falling back in towards the arch, and we actually haven't seen them go for too many short plays. It's going to be the peek through, but again, the shot not connected, that allows for the T's to now take quite a bit of control. They're probably going to Molotov in towards the library just to not allow for any sort of peek from her. It's whether or not she can actually catch them on any sort of cross, and the answer to that is no. Now there's actually a player waiting. Cammy peeks in. It is a quick trade back. They need to clear out this pit, and Pan has called off Kitty Cat instead. It's going to be left onto Ela trying to push back in, but she doesn't have any support. It has to be the trade, but she gets both. That is a risky play to take, I might add, as her teammate was nowhere near. But sometimes it's to the bold to then actually get things done.
Yeah, willing to just do it all on her own. Fueled with confidence at that point. Surely finds the first frag, continues to find the adjustment on the second as well, and just locks it down. And that is a really, really big one. Direly needed. Gives Orgless a third now on the board. It's 8-3. Pain Gaming, I mean, they're already in a tremendous position. The scary factor is there's a few more rounds left to go at this half. Pain Gaming could still add to this. Cammy back on the AWP as well. 10 kills to her name. A couple of tasty shots have been found with it that have given them some nice openers. Can they do it again? Can they try and further that a little bit more? Early HE, and that is big. Look at that, Tom. The amount of damage, that 100 HP nearly lost there. The instant opener off the HE.
Yeah, that is a tough, tough loss early on. At the same time, nobody's gone down just yet. Now, notice that the two of the T players actually don't have any head armor, so going to be more vulnerable to those M4s. We are going to have Ela just waiting towards this cross. Actually gives it up. That's going to allow the T's to wrap around it. It seems like the CTs may even be unaware of the fact that they've got so far. Anna will be there to spin around, and Cammy's found one, but Anna's being pinched in. Somehow she's still alive. I don't know how she hasn't been finished off. That's a bit of a mistake coming out. Eventually, surely Anna does it, but it's just a bit late. Like, I feel like you need to find out. Okay, the double Kobe. So much damage done by grenades in that round, but Orgless That's one that they needed. And just look at the money now for Pain. That's finally the reset. It's taken a bit of time to do it. A pause also going to be called. Could be by either side, to be honest. But yeah, that's a big round for them to win.
Yeah, Kitty Cat yeeting him out of the server. Ridiculous. Just blows him to bits. That was a very nice nade. 4 rounds now between these two teams. Considering the actual lead that we initially saw coming through from Pain Gaming, this is a much better situation to be in. It makes the whole thing look a lot more competitive. Inferno being the 3rd map in a best of 3 as the decider, especially when it's an elimination map as well, is always going to provide you with some exciting stuff. It's just historically one of those maps where if it comes down to it, you know both teams are going to play their hearts out. The full overpass was close. The full 30 rounds, literally 2 smoke diffusers to close that one out. The sheer impact that we've seen, the passing of the torch as well between various different players on either team. Yeah. Anna starting off the series fairly quiet, not really being able to have much impact with the AWP because she was just so limited in terms of the economy the entire game. As soon as it got into overpass, the confidence was there. She was let off the leash. She went wild. Once again, onto Inferno. When she needs to, she has been mauling the opposition. Kitty Cat having impactful rounds here and there as well, looking more like she did on Nuke once again, which is good to see. Sholiana, she's the one that I feel like we need to really have revitalize herself, come back into it. She had the second half on overpass. It looked fantastic. Nuke, 32 kills. She's been a real big dog for the side of Pain Gaming. And if she can try and get back into it now and show once again she has that bite remaining, Tom, I feel like Pain still have a whole lot to prove.
Yeah, either way, pretty sure the winner of this actually faces off against Dig. So it's a horrible scenario for them, but they still have work to do. Ela through the smoke gets the secondary kill, and Anna, quick on the flick, will be there to close this down. 8-5, flawless from Orgless. The money starts to build behind them, and, well, although that was pretty much a pure eco, it's still good for the confidence. Either way, now we watch as the T's have a purchase once again. It's been a little while since we've seen them grace the scoreboard, so we may be just seeing Orgless look to streak this one to the end and turn this into a nice and close 8-7 half.
After this one, Tom, I think Anna will be needing an AUG because some of the damage she's been dealing has been absolutely sublime, if not the frag movie at the very least.
Yeah, that's for sure. It is a bit one of those situations where you're still looking at this going, Orgless. Do you think someone would have been up for this? But, you know, people will learn after this one, especially if they manage to turn this around.
If they could bring this back, it would be incredible. The timing! Oh, the first time we've actually seen more aggressive peek towards Banana as well. The flashbang over. How Marin even got away alive after she couldn't find that initial frag. The damage done, leaving Sholiana on just 4 HP. The frustration between either team must be through the roof there.
How nobody is dead.
That's the crazy part.
That's the bit that just makes no sense. Someone should have died in that situation, but both players get away by the skin of their teeth. Marion slightly better off. Actually, they've already rotated Ela into a strong spot to watch the cross. 40 seconds left as all the utility is going to be expended by both sides. The Incendiary should hold them back a little bit. They can't really run through it. Well, Jolina's going to cook. Incendiary does enough. Utility just holding them back, and Cammy almost meets the same fate. Now Marion could look to spray from the back of the site, but it's a bit of an elaborate ruse. Lolita's in exactly the same spot, and it wasn't expected by the T's. Even still, though, she's going to get tagged down by Cammy, turning things back into what is now a 2 versus, or 3 versus 1, and it won't matter. Ela's just gone ham in that round. 4 kills for her. The turnaround seems to be coming, as now Orgless, they've hit 6.
It's the duo that we're seeing as well there from Orgless, of Anna and Ela, because you have the absolute rampant rifler in Ela. She's just able to just destroy people with the AK. She's been putting people to bed the entire time in this best of 3. For Anna, it's the just heroism with the AWP, the willingness she has to try and take outrageous firefights and, for the most part, make them work out. A very, very effective dynamic duo. They've been doing an awful lot for this Orgless side.
Well, yeah, I think Ela was actually very quiet in the first map, and the difference between that and Overpass was night and day.
Oh yeah,
she had a fantastic second map, looking to do the same on the third, but the T's, well, it's a dicey buy for the final round. Of course they're going to force. It is the last round of the half. They got themselves a couple of Mac 10s. Like, they were setting up to go for the apartments burst, which with the weaponry they have makes perfect sense. Like, if you're running and gunning and jumping through the air, the apartment seems to be the place you want to be. The question is, are they going to be able to isolate Kitty Cat from the pit? Looking to be the anchor in that corner. Ela will be there for the first. And actually, the trade's going quite well. The T's have managed to get themselves a couple of kills. And more importantly, they've upgraded their weaponry significantly. There's only one Mac 10 actually left in the hands. Ela still standing, but fairly low on HP and isolated by the smoke. This time, she's not going to do it all on her own. She will wait for the team.
So, 3 versus 3 for either side. 8-6. This round means an awful lot. Zena gets the connection off. Lolita is down and out. The final 2 remaining CTs on the side of Orgless. They bombard their way through the smoke, but it will not work out for them. They have been slaughtered on the re-entry towards the site, Tom. And that will secure it as a 9-6 half there for Pain Gaming. The Brazilian side playing very flamboyantly. They look confident to start it off. Obviously, it could have been an even more ridiculous scoreline.
What was it, 7-0?
Yeah, and
a really strong start from Pain. I think we've seen that pretty much throughout these sort of matches, is that somebody is taking the initial lead. Like pretty much every game we've casted, obviously with the first couple, whoever took it just seemed to just walk away. But like in this series, it's been like somebody gets that sort of dominant start and then the other team brings it back to at least bring us that sort of middle ground half, and that's what we've ended up with. 9-6, second pistol going to be getting right underway. And it is going to be actually a reasonable amount of utility. Kitty Cat. Ooh,
wow.
Aggressive peak. We can see the way the Brazilians are looking to carry on. Is that player down mid? Yeah?
Yeah, Pan's gone for it.
Pan's just chilling. Oh, eventually we'll get there. Now the T's are going to punish what was a little bit of a whiff. But ultimately, the CTs have still managed to take so much map control. Shalina's in second mid as well. Eventually gets punished. And these are the sort of situations where you go, maybe it would have been better to just hold on to the player advantage instead. The fullback comes in and they don't have anybody actually on A. They're almost retaking their own site before they've lost it. A really weird scenario. Back down to a 2 versus 2. CTs actually do have a kit available to them.
So, Cammy and Bazina here for the retake. It's the 2 versus 2. They have one flashbang left on Kitty Cat. Instead, they're just going to stick with it. Locks out Cammy. She is crisp with that P2000. She has just been putting everyone down, feeding them to the slaughter. As she tries to push her way back in towards the site, too heavily focused. They're trapped in a battle between Bazina. It gave Cammy the opportunity to get that kill. The kit will be utilized and the round will be secured. 10-6 as they win the opening pistol off a 4K from Cammy, I might add. Absolutely spectacular.
Yes, he's definitely having a good game in this one alongside Pam. We've still got a couple of quieter players over on the Pain side, but at the moment it doesn't seem to matter. They've got themselves that second round victory. The bomb plant will allow for a bit of investment into this next one. You can see Marion and Ela going to be the ones with the pistol Kevlar. Everybody else just sticking with the P250, which is still a pretty damn powerful weapon. Like, considering the price range, I personally think is the best pistol. I like it a lot. Like, price to how much damage it can potentially do. Well, already kicking things off.
Ooh.
Famas may actually get overwhelmed here. It's not the best weapon when you sort of get caught out like that. And there you go. The P250 is doing all of the work at the moment. It's going to be left on to the 2 players remaining to try and retake this. Now, bear in mind, they were pretty much ecoing here. They invested a little bit of money. They know that they can buy into the next round. They got a second bomb plant, and, well, Gabby's going to be caught out while trying to throw in the Molotov. Does manage to hit the headshot onto Anna. Nalita up close, though. Has herself the MP9 waiting, and neither of them are going to check the angle. Still, Gabby gets one, but it does not matter. The minute investment coming out from Orgless is enough.
As if they win that round as well.
P250 is pretty good, you know.
It's crazy. I mean, imagine Anna pre-P250 nerf as well. With some of the shots she's been hitting, she'd be unstoppable. It's crazy though, just breaking her wrist every round to try and hit some of these shots. And it's been paying off. The Orgless Killer Bees have been on the swarm. Pain Gaming, they need to protect their necks, Tom.
That's another round though. Like, this was the big problem that sort of me and Snods had when we were casting Pain in the first match they played in Inferno was their arch control just seemed to be non-existent.
Yeah.
And it happened again. Like, you just watched the T's run around arch. I almost wonder if Orgless actually just watched that previous game. I imagine they would have done. And just, like, saw that and just went, you know what? Screw it. Let's try running around arch. And, like, that shouldn't happen. Like, they had P250s. 3 of the players didn't even have armor. You have to sort of work on that. And I think that's one of the bigger problems that Pain are going to have is they really need to work on that arch control.
Yeah, if that's a weakness that is going to continue on as well throughout this, it's certainly going to make things harder for them. So 2 versus 3 here. Pan recovering the MAC-10 and the CZ. In reality, there isn't much they can do. Bombs down, Orgless, they're in a position to take this one. It's pretty much set in stone. It will be secured by them, so it will go 10-8. You may as well hold on to what you've scavenged. But this is potentially the start of something new here for Orgless, Tom.
Yeah, no, that sort of forced by win, that is just wind in the sails. Like, that's such a great round for you to win because they went into that round going, hey, girls, you know what? We've got ourselves the bomb plant. We've got enough money into the next round. Whatever happens here, it doesn't really matter. Instead, they win. So you just have that ultimate boost of confidence going, we just beat them with what wasn't even a buy for us.
Yeah.
And now they go forward. Okay, just look at the money. Like, bear in mind, what? There's only been a couple of rounds in this half so far. Anna has $8,000. Lolita has $6,000. And there's a lot of players with similar cash. The lowest is $4,600. Like, obviously, a few of them still have to buy, but considering what position they're in at the moment and how many rounds they've actually won, that is a ludicrous amount of money to have. And even still, like, you look at the CT side, they're still unable to actually purchase into this one. They're going to save up the money to make sure they have all of that extra utility. They used a couple of MAC-10s that they stole in the previous round. They're going to actually go aggressive down Banana, even still, though. Ela looking to continue her reign of terror. And, well, you spoke about that deadly duo. They got the first 2 kills.
And they have been so effective the entire time. Both of them just working in absolutely perfect synergy to allow the other to perform here. Pain Gaming, the trio, set up. Looked like they will just go for the wide swing and commit to this push down Banana. Most likely going to be the frags all collected here by Kitty Cat as they'll jump into her. Ela will nip in for 1 and assist. But Orgless now only 1 round away. That is the only difference, considering how large that lead was at one point for Pain Gaming. It's definitely started to swing around a little bit. Double up setup being done though. Gabby going to be grabbing one of them. Cammy on the other. 2 Orgs there as well. And finally an M4 for Bazina. They have the utility, Tom. This is where things could start to fall back in their favor if they can make these weapons work.
Yeah, T-side. Already mentioned, the bank for them is ludicrous, but I'm going to want to take the pedal off the gas. And already Cammy going for a more aggro-style peak. It's been tagged within inches of her life. 15 HP is all that remains, so they have a decent setup for any sort of push towards the apartments. The crossfire should be enough, but you sort of look at the passive arch play. If these 2 players go down, that's pretty much round over. It's going to be very difficult to get back into this one. You see the smoke thrown out to sort of take away the vision. We're yet to see that player sort of jump around. That's normally what happens. Somebody jumps through. They actually pre-fire the angle and both openers come in. Now it's left on to said the isolated players around that arch side. And they have tried to sort of focus on controlling this portion of the map quite a bit more. Instead, they've now lost short.
Bazina wrapping away, round quad, back in towards the site. 37 seconds, Gabby finding one with the AWP. However, they realize the location that Bazina was playing from. They sniff her out and they shut her down. Cammy, the wall bang to eliminate Ela, leaving it to the 2 versus 2. Anna, she doesn't need vision, Tom. She has instinct to land those shots, and she has the confidence as well. The push comes towards her. She holds steady like a rock. She'll land it. She always has the upper hand in these firefights.
Well, 10-10 scoreline. Now equalized. Bear in mind, this was a 7-0 scoreline at one point, 8-2 as well. Like, and then the flurry of rounds just came back. Like, Orgless turning this game on its head. And as said, mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. This is the elimination map. One of these teams is out of the tournament from this point onwards. Day 1 is the only day for them. Now, the CT side, they've stacked B. Everybody's over on that B side at the moment. The T's just playing more of a default. I wonder if we're going to get some aggression over towards Banana to try and catch off some of these rifles. They have had some success so far. Molotov is eventually going to spread, and, well, I'm not sure I agree with this. Pushing through the flames to try and take the challenge. Still managing to get a kill. I don't really know how, but I think that was even audacious for any team, really.
Definitely rather bold. Pan dealing out a beautiful shot there. Gets the flick up. Rita is down. Pan and Cami, unfortunately for them, they might have been able to muster up something into the round, but the reality is this should be an 11-4 Orgless. They have the firepower, they have the site control, and they are in the driving seat. Pan, armed with an AK, Cami as well, finding one, deviate back, fall towards T-spawn, go for the full save. They probably won't hunt too heavily here. They do have the cash to afford to if they wish to, but most likely going to allow both of these two players to slip through into the next one, Tom. And Orgless finally getting themselves a lead after what has really been a battle of attrition for them to even get back into this point.
Yeah, turning things around on the T side, and well, we saw this from Pain previously. It was the T side where they had their troubles. Players surviving. A couple of AKs picked up. Not crucial for Pain, as they've got so much money to buy into this next round with. And, well, we see a lot of players even like favoring the AUG a lot of the time recently. But it is going to be that big purchase up. Only a singular orb, so they've moved away from that secondary. T side already so much money, just so much cash. Even with the players lost in the last round, it made absolutely no dent. They've gone for that early three-player stack over towards the B side that we mentioned before. They haven't really utilized it to take a lot of control. They're still just sat at the top of Banana.
So with newfound confidence and the newfound lead that they have on Orgless, how will this affect things overall? Banana control coming through. Molotov will be cast out. There's the flashbang. They're actually going to peek off the back of this as well. With a wide swing from behind the car angle. Gabby with the AK. Slaughtering them. Hits them with a Rhino, Tom. She's ripped them a new one.
And now the T's have to try and, well, basically bounce back was what from them getting absolutely wrecked. They are going to look to try and push into A, but look at the like sort of little triple stack. They're all lined up over on that short position. It's going to be an aggressive angle taken from Cami. Going to try and peek in with the AWP, and we'll find the open and drop the bomb. That's all the info they need. And if they even dare to try and push out of the apartments, there's two players covering her off. So this is looking nigh on impossible. 35 seconds left. 2 versus 5 for the T's.
Here comes that slow development into the round now. Push up towards the A site as soon as they peek out. Pan detecting Marion, gets the kill. Ela has to get out of there now. Once again, it will be another save. This time it's the AWP on the T side that will be clutched onto. They all have a reasonable amount of money. They're not in an awkward position at all, but it's still worth coming through with that AWP. Saving themselves the extra cash. Pass that back over to Anna. A pause as well, as things are now tied up. 11-11. If you missed overpass, it was a similar affair. It got to around this region where it really did start to go down to the wire. And it seems like potentially, Tom, we might have the full 30 rounds played out once again.
Yeah, no, this is a close game. I believe that we may have actually seen... Well, it's very close. I don't know if it's actually finished because I just heard screaming over the other side, but in the Crowns game, they managed to take the first map, and it says 15-12 on HLTV, but I'm going to guess by the screams that they might have actually just finished the match off. So...
That was a very loud cheer.
Yeah, by the looks of it, it will be Crowns actually the one in that sort of decider match later today. I think that means the Australian team is the one heading home, which is unfortunate to be going out on day one when you've had such a long journey. But
yeah.
This is just me assuming, by the way, because I still can't confirm.
Theory crafting.
Yeah, I'm guessing from screams, which is not normally the best way to do analysis in Counter-Strike, but you know, it can work out occasionally.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You know, audio cues mean a lot. Well, As we wait for this pause to commence as they talk it through. The thing is, it's hard to call whose pause this actually is, as obviously we're unsure, we haven't been told. So, at a position where it is 11-11, figuring that out is going to be a rough one.
Well, we've got the countdown bomb starting off once again. And it is going to be... He's actually with a double orb setup. Both Marion and Anna holding those AWPs. Now, there's been some aggressive peaks coming out. I wonder if this is actually a tactical decision, because bear in mind, they saved one in the previous round. Maybe somebody just bought up another one, like Anna was just a little bit gun-ho and just bought up a AWP, but we are going to see a challenge for Banana once again. And this is where that sort of double orb setup, although not something you'd really tell people to go for, like it's not the smartest of decisions, it can work out nicely if there's aggressive plays coming in. It's when the sort of CT side fall into a more passive setup that could be a bit more of a problem.
Bazina going to be putting the boost here towards the CT entrance so she can get supported by Gabby. As the bomb detonates in real life.
That was actually the marker for Crown's victory. They have won now.
Just letting everyone know. Yeah.
They've won now. So
certifying it.
The bomb has many uses in this arena at the moment. None of them actually for this game.
No.
35 seconds left. We're going to have the aggressive play towards mid initially, but this is a late call from Orgless. Now, this is the problem. This is where you don't want two AWPs in a late round execute on towards the site. If they have to go through a smoke hit, they're doomed. If they get even just caught out and have to try and transition, they are doomed. They've just got to hope that they can get these opening picks. In after plants, it'll actually be quite nice for them, but let's see whether or not Gabby and Bazina are going to be able to hold this one down. Nice start from the Brazilian, able to open things up, takes a lot of damage, but just look at the time. There's only 7 seconds left. Kitty Cat gets a crucial opener, but already the bomb is being planted and defended, and it's not going to go down. They didn't have enough time. Ooh. That was like millisecond close as well.
Yeah, that is rough though. Literally losing out by a couple of seconds there. Well, milliseconds really, and that's horrible for the position that now puts you in. 12-11 off the back of the pause. That is how the cookie crumbles. As we dive straight back into it. Orgless. They've got to use that aggression now, feed off it, and bring it back into the table. Trying to get in that early mid control. They're just actually going to storm their way up. If they do try and go for arch control, though, Cammy is there. This time she's actually posted up, ready for the onslaught to come towards her. Ooh. Misses the follow-up shot, Tom, but she's already picked up one. She's hungering as well. You can't help but feel like she should have got that. Ela, dead woman walking, as it is a 4-on-4, and Anna is just loving life right now, Tom, living a movie.
Wow, CT side. Player disadvantage once again. You can see Bazina's got that sort of question mark above her head, whether she should actually fully rotate in towards this A site. She will eventually do it. Packed in what positions? Race 2 down! Gives them right back into that advantage. It's equalized once more. Healer placed on the site alongside Kitty Cat. Already looking to try and make a little bit of sound as her teammate actually rotates around. It's the 1v1 battle, and it's just about won by Kitty Cat. It's now left all onto Gabby. Spots out the head of Ela, but can't connect the shots, and Orgless will equalize things once again. There really is no separating these two teams at the moment. Well, I think we've gone 10-10, 11-11, 12-12. Neither team's economy has been broken just yet. And actually, the CT side was sort of saving money for so long. Pan has $12,000 after this backwards and forwards display.
Yeah, it's so neck and neck. Each and every round is incredibly close. It always goes down to the wire. It's never just defiantly clean cut. As you can see, everyone actually looking pretty close together there in terms of the statistics. It's not too varied at all. In terms of the underperformer, though, the shocking one is for me, for Pain Gaming, Shalina, 8 frags. Inferno really not being her map. Compared to what we've seen from her the rest of the day, obviously being able to keep up that level of consistency throughout all 3 maps, the best of 3 at times can become a hard task. However, if we just had a little bit more from her, the extra edge that could give to Pain Gaming could be incredible because you have the duo right now performing on Orgless. Anna and Ela being able to play that well, with Kitty Cat as well working in. So now essentially the full trifactor of players that we said can just be mean machines, Tom. You need that help. You need Shalina to come in and do what she did on the first map and what she did in the second half of Overpass because she was just lethal.
Yeah, it almost makes me wonder if maybe the map versus Assassins would have been a bit different if they hadn't played Inferno. Like, obviously Assassins have looked fantastic throughout the day, obviously beating Dignitas, which obviously one of the favorites, if not the favorite really in the whole tournament.
The reigning champions.
But like, in all honesty, if we'd seen maybe something else, it could have been a closer display. I still think Assassins would have sneaked it, at least. But considering the way that she's played on all the other maps and then how it's gone on Inferno, you almost wonder if maybe this just isn't the map for her or it just hasn't been working today. Either way, another pause and some more time talked over. It is going to be a buyback in for both teams. And it's interesting that Pan's on a FAMAS. Like, she has 5 grand.
Going for the FAMAS by now, potentially, to be able to afford to get the AWP out into the next round, maybe?
I don't like that. I don't like negativity going into a buy.
That's what I mean. I'm not sure what the...
That's weird.
Yeah, that's the only sort of explanation for that I can imagine is obviously having that extra bank for some kind of situation coming up later. This nade's been so much damage, they don't clear it! They've done that nade countless times and then followed through to clear it, Tom. But the one time, it lands flawlessly and tags her for so much within an inch of her life. No one has the grace to clear on the left angle. They all push up. Gabby gets away with it. A glorious spray down. 3 people eliminated for the side of Orgless. And now there's just 2 remain. Anna and Kitty Cat, Tom. Can this duo deal damage and bring it back from the position they're in? Cammy, the last remaining member on the B site, the one that is designed to try and save the day here, waiting, hunkering down in position, M4 in hand. Can she slay them and keep them at bay?
Already looking to try and make her way forward. They need to try and clear this angle. It's not going to be easy, and I don't even think they know she's here. Cammy in the back lines, 4 HP for Anna. This has to be a miracle if she's going to get away with it, and does actually manage the kill. The problem is getting this plant down is going to be so hard because they're just going to push in. It's close, but it isn't quite enough. And now the T's money is problematic. 13 and 12, this is not where you want your finances to take a hit.
So unfortunate, especially the potential outcome. Imagine the alternate universe there, Tom, where they clear the left angle. Gabby, at most, probably gets 1 trade kill there as she goes out. The whole difference that could have made. The world of hurt they just had unleashed upon them. Very, very unfortunate. Obviously getting quite complacent because Pain Gaming, they haven't really been playing too many aggressive setups towards Archside. They have actually been very lackluster towards the way they've been willing to hold it. They've been giving them that map control. The one time they switch it up, it was not expected. And now that paranoia is definitely going to be plaguing on the minds of Orgless. Setting up once again, though, the apps burst seeming to be the key. There's the smokes. Can they make it work in practice?
There we go, though. Quick push out. Shalina's well placed, but isn't going to be able to see anything as they make their way onto the site. However, eventually she will pounce alongside a couple of her friends, leaving just Kitty Cat, P250, armor, and nothing else. A minute left on the clock is the only real other positive I can take from this one. And while a flawless victory, and Gabby even turning it into a little bit of BM. As you can tell that this is now the crunch moment. That may have just been the deciding factor because the T's can't buy here. They've pretty much got to play for overtime.
Yeah, they have been broken, which is just devastating to say the least. I mean, how close this game has been the entire time because it's been so neck and neck. All of these players giving it their all. If we go down to the situation we're now in, we're most likely Pain Gaming, if they can carry on, Tom, and they don't throw any ridiculous plays out there, they should probably go on to win this one. Shalina, she's had more of a quiet affair on Inferno, but she looks to try and change that with a bit more high-tempo play. Spots out the players that are bombarding their way in towards the apartments, will hand over that lease to them. and give them control of the apartment for the meantime, as she does not want to go down. Instead falls back to aid the team. Cammy getting a small read there as well. Knows someone's come to check the boiler. We'll just back off for the meantime. A minute on the clock now, Tom.
Already looking to wrap around again. They are 100% going to be checking for Gabby, and actually she peeks out instead. Still manages to keep the advantage in their favor, of course. 50 seconds left, and while Pan will peek out. 15 and 12, this is it. This is Orgless' last lifeline. They need the next 3 rounds, and then to fight it off in overtime. They do at least have themselves a purchase, but no AWP. Anna will not have her weapon of choice on this T side at the moment. And while the CT side have everything they could possibly desire.
Pain Gaming, as we've said throughout the day, from that opening match at the start of the stream, the only side that has kept their roster the same since the prior year, coming back into this, maybe proving that the experience and the synergy they have, Tom, has helped them out over the roster that's in its infancy, really, with Orgless. As it looks to be where they might be put to bed. So 4 versus 5 into the round, with still 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock as well. A rapid early opener. You've lost Kitty Cat, the 3rd most influential player on the side of Orgless as well, currently on this map, and that is going to be a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, troublesome. Minute left on the clock, and T slowly making their way over towards this B site. Now, they haven't probed in this direction too much. Like, they've challenged it, but not with these sort of full executions. The incendiary will hold them back a little bit longer, and you look at the 2 players still left. There's a flashbang and a smoke available to them to buy even more time. And this will just be irritating for the T side. Going to get 20 seconds to execute, unless, of course, they just opt to go through it. And that's what they're looking to do, just running in towards the site. It's going to be Gabby actually forced out by the Molotov, but she will be able to make it into the other corner. And now, Bazine is able to pounce, but she's only going to get 1. At least keeping the advantage alive, and Gabby will chime in with another. It just seems to be back and forward, but the CT side keep that advantage strong. Hoping to try and find something through the smoke, but ultimately, Gabby should be waiting for her team, but she wants to try and do it all alone. Instead, Marion will be able to trade things back. Even still, though, she's got to try and clutch this out.
Marion, the 1 versus 2, Tom. She's creeping her way back around through runes. The angle is being covered. The smoke goes down from Shalina, but she's going to walk straight through. No one's watching the smoke. Shalina, with the adjustment, won't find the frag, but it will not matter. Pan is there. 16 to 12 is our scoreline. Pain Gaming are our victors. It is a 2-1 win there, taking the first map in the series on Nuke and closing it out on the final map of Inferno, dropping it on Overpass with a difference of 1 round. Yeah. Lunacy, absolute lunacy.
Yeah, it was one hell of a series, a very close one at that, and it easily could have gone either way all the way through it, but it is the Brazilians to at least survive a little bit longer. They've now got the tough task of, I believe, going up against Dignitas, which doesn't get any easier from here. Of course, they're going to have to up their game if they're going to defeat the reigning world champions. I believe that'll be coming up in actually just a moment. I think that'll be the next game. Either that or it'll be from the other group. But either way, that is it for now. We'll be back after a short break, and you'll be getting to see who's going to go through that decider match.
Yeah.